Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another exciting episode of Victoria 2, Sardinia, Piedmont, Italy, whatever it is we got going on. Let's go ahead and get time started and see what the world has in store. Apparently, bankruptcy for Denmark. So sorry, I don't even know why I bothered to check, but it's morbid curiosity perhaps. Denmark owes us £500. It's not worth a war. Really, it never is. That's my opinion anyway. Never really worth it to go to war. Hey, 10 extra prestige. We're in 6th place, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at who that means we're better than. Certainly the Russians, and Bavaria as well. So things are going pretty well for this little Italian state that could. If San Pedro Sula were the protagonist of a romantic play, then dark clouds, heralding storms, strife and conflict would be hanging low on the horizon. So it looks like we got some stuff going on in Central America. Not really a surprise. Let's order a crackdown. A little bit rude. I'll agree with that. But sometimes you just got to do it. We got a revolution going on in Parma, which we're about to take advantage of. Establishing a penal colony from someone it looks like France is considering. Not a bad idea, France. Unlikely to become cardinal, which is fine. Belgian-Russian relations. Tuscany expands. Chile at war. French research complete. And critically, the front page story. End of the Peru-Bolivian Confederation? That would mean good things for our burgeoning colonial empire in the West, but like I say, I don't think we necessarily need to advance that any further. So liberal causes have started to gain traction in Sardinia, Piedmont. Maybe that's what they want us to think about those secret societies. They're not actually ruling. They're just, you know, rich people who do their things. Looks like we got a lot of stuff going on in the West. We should probably take a look. And can we get some colonial forces? We can't. What I should probably do is focus on training some soldiers out in my colonies. That might not be a bad idea. The Watch on Turin, the old... No, bloody revolutionaries. Why not? Why not? I think we're all maxed out here as well. Yeah, so we could probably do to get some more soldiers out there for the world to make things better. The philosophy of organic work, developed in occupied Poland largely as a response to attempts at suppressing Polish national identity and culture undertaken by Prussian and Russian authorities. We'll support it. Why not? And, well, I'm thinking geopolitically, we're doing good with France, and eventually, hey! I said eventually. What I meant to say is we are now in their sphere, which means we are now allied to France. And this being a paradox game, doesn't matter when that paradox game is set. These good things happen when you're allied to France. Most of the time. This early in the game, yes. This being Victoria 2, literally anything can happen. So France could eventually wind up being pretty worthless. So that's something to remember. Now, Orko, you're going to hate me because I'm looking at this and I'm remembering your comment. I'm just not really remembering what were the good things to get and what were the bad things to get. Such is life. I do know voting franchise might not be a bad idea. Getting that up there, and really, most of the people want it. So 50% of our voters and 33% of the population want it, considering we're only landed, and 56% of rich people are like, no, look, we can include middle-class votes. And, you know, I'm really tempted to do it. It gets our immigrant protection up. It gets Casa Bella acquisition speed to increase as well, which is a bit of a pain, but such is life. But I mean, you know, it's good in a lot of senses. It's bad in the sense that you start to really lose control of your government. But whatever, we'll do it. And when I'm done recording this video, I'll go back and read that comment and realize I've made a horrible, horrible mistake. Pretty sure. Anti-Jacobin Tract. In a time when the forces of revolution threatened to overthrow all the long-established orders of Europe, becomes our sacred duty to voice our dissent. The Jacobins, holding nothing sacred save the profane, are charlatans peddling false ideologies. What Robespierre's terror brought to France, their radicalism now threatens to impose on Sardinia-Piedmont. The widespread liberal agitation in Sardinia-Piedmont has mobilized the forces of reaction and led a conservative intellectual, and a leading conservative intellectual, has published an anti-Jacobin tract. Very interesting. That is, because the Jacobins tend to be rather annoying when it comes to revolutions. But with us being an Italian state, and quite critically a very successful Italian state, just checking on the old factories, they're getting upgraded, and I appreciate it. There's a gamey way to form Italy, and I'm tempted to do it with Parma. So what you do is, as you will remember, hopefully, from the last episode, we are working on getting a make puppet Causae Belli against Parma. Now, since I initiated that, I did some reading on Victoria, and I remembered one of the reasons why I picked an Italian state. And I knew this, but I didn't really fully remember how overpowered such a thing could be. If we get Italian pan-nationalists to rise up in any state, then when they take over that state, they will throw an event that gives Italy to an Italian state that's a great power, basically. And so if there's more than one great power of Italian state, it goes to the greatest power, I think. And then the other one stays independent. I'm kind of fuzzy on the whole thing of, you know, what state it goes to. What I do know is that basically, event-wise, it goes between either the two Sicilies or Sardinia-Piedmont. Now, considering we're well ahead of the two Sicilies, I don't think they're anywhere in the Great Power list. If we can get these pan-Italian nationalists to rise up in any nation, then bingo bango, we're Italy, basically. And we could do this with Parma by just invading, occupying, and then never ending the war. Eventually, people will rise up, take over, and if it's not the rebels we want, we can go in and fight them. If it is the pan-nationalists, we can just sit in Genoa, let them take over Parma, and give us Italy. So that's kind of the gamey plan. We'll see if it works out. A local chapter of the Chartist Society calling for a broadening of the voting franchise, I should say, and an end to landed waiting votes has opened in Sardinia-Piedmont. Great. So already, we've got people who are like, you know what? That reform you did a couple months ago? Not nearly enough, sir. And we can see we got some rebel factions, movement for immigration reform, not too many people, campaign for censored press, a lot more people. So we might want to, continue on with the press. That might not be a bad idea, but first and foremost, we have a country to puppet. Declare war, make your puppet. Do we need to call in allies? France will join. But really, we don't need France's help in this war. If we do, we've got much bigger problems than oh man, all of those guys suck. That's fine. Get moving then. And realize that you can do manual leadership and things like that, but I'm a very lazy video game player. If the game can take care of it for me, then why not let it take care of it for me? Except when it comes to the economy. I don't like laissez-faire in this game, because capitalists are idiots. As you can see, building a lumber mill in Honduras. They don't even produce lumber, do they? They don't. Is there any wood in Honduras? I'm pretty sure there isn't. I'm pretty sure it's coffee and tobacco. Immigrants in Sardinia-Piedmont, we will investigate the situation of the ghettos. Let's just quickly head over and make sure tobacco, sugar, and tropical wood. I don't think we want to turn tropical wood into construction planks. I have a feeling that would be better used somewhere else. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. These things happen. I could be wrong about this whole strategy. I don't know. But I'm certainly, no, going to keep that little piece of land occupied for as long as I possibly can. We got stuff going on. Feel free to read about what you wish. Obviously by pausing the video. I'm not going to leave the video paused and read all of that. I mean, unless, you know, you guys want me to take up time in the videos reading the newspaper. I could certainly do that. I do like reading. So, you know, if that's what you want, let me know. But somehow I don't think it is what you guys want, so. Now, the only thing with this strategy, and I've never done it, and usually I don't like, you know, doing untested strategies for the viewing public. Fiery Preacher. But we're getting a lot of reactionaries. I think it's from Honduras Canned Food Factory. I wish there was like a sugar refinery or something I could do with that. Obviously, I should have put the rum thing. I guess I could build a rum thing there. Oh, I don't have control over my economy anymore. As I say, it would be great to build a factory there, but I can't. Because I can't. Can I? Maybe. And doing that might even cause people to want to revolt. See, I'm really tempted to set this to the reactionaries just so I can build a rum distillery. Because we've got 1,700 craftsmen unemployed in Honduras. And building a canned food factory there isn't going to be all that great. We don't have the things there to do that. So, let's do it. Let's be dictators and say, hey, build a rum distillery. There we go. We'll get that set up and going. And then once that's up, we can dismantle the one back in Italy and call it a day. All right, well, we got our breech loading rifles, or our muzzle loading rifles. We haven't got breech loading rifles yet. Might as well get some. Well, I mean, like, the thing is, we're not really all that militaristic. So perhaps something like, I know these are good to get up to nationalism. Those are things we want. We could probably do to get some industry going. We don't really produce a lot of raw materials, but there's got to be, like, organized factory. That would be a very good thing to get. We should get that, and we will in 1849. We'll have organized factories. Right now, I like to imagine it's completely unorganized and just a crazy mess. Yeah, you guys are going to be occupied for a while. But if we take a look at the revolt risk map, you know, people don't want to revolt. So perhaps, like, if we made peace with them, then maybe they would revolt. Because they're now a puppet of us. Would that be a good thing to do? I can feel it. I'm going to back out on this amazing strategy that I read about that should be just perfect. Moralist resurgence. We will lose militancy. That seems like a good idea. We'll push it a little bit longer. We'll push it at least into 1848. When historically there were a bunch of rebellions and revolts. So hopefully that happens. Judging by the way the game is going, it'll be nice that just revolts like crazy. So we'll see. The Piedmontian economy has been sluggish as of late, with investors becoming reticent to commit to new projects. The Piedmontian people have responded by tightening their belts, making do with less, and while austerity serves its purpose, it also has the possibility of sending us further into economic decline. Well, at least everybody's needs is going to go down, but throughput and RGOs and all that stuff, it's not going to be good. We don't... I guess you're expanding a bit. I don't even know why we have a bakery there. Are we making flour? We are, though, aren't we? No. No. Oh, over there. No, not yet. There's the news, with some more news over top. Ours is a nation of order, where peace and civility rule the day. Everyone strives for the common good and for the progress of our nation as a whole. I always knew this to be true. Thank you, my wonderful Italian friends. Subjects, even, would probably be the best way to describe them. Yeah, you see, I have a feeling switching the political parties kind of caused people to get angry. And now, the crappy thing is, if I were to switch it back to what it was, people would still be upset. Which, I mean, and, you know, that makes sense. You're supposedly a constitutionally limited monarchy still acting like an absolute monarch. Even if you give back the people what they want, you didn't technically listen to the people, so I get that. I understand what's going on. We're close to getting Honduras done, but as we can see, the craftsmen are leaving the island because they got nowhere to go. They got nothing to do. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Soon you'll be making rum. And as we can see with the mod, at least I'm pretty sure it's in the mod, we'll get plus 30% efficiency, I guess, or production or something. Plus 30% good if we have a sugar refinery in Piedmont. Oh, we do need a sugar refinery. Such a thing does exist. Oh! I'm an idiot. There we go. Honduras is going to be really well developed when it comes to industry. But that's okay. It'll be a nice place for people to go because the climate is going to be nice. Not that the climate in northern Italy is bad by any stretch of the imagination, especially coming from a Canadian, but Honduras, come on, that's just nice. It looks like we got some revolts kicking off. The Hungarian Revolt of 1848 might be causing some issues with the only place that doesn't want to revolt is the place we're occupying. Okay, the next time they ask for peace. Oh, what do we got here? We've got, what kind of rebels? Jacobin rebels. So those aren't really the rebels we want. We want pan-nationalists. Okay, there you go. You're a puppet of us. And we'll keep our nice big military here, the Escridio di Sardinia, to block any of these dirty, rotten Jacobins who might try and come into our lands. And I'm hoping soon that we'll get an election. Although what I could do just to appease everybody, because we're still 2 years away from an election. Let's hold one. I've done what I need to do with messing around with the economy. And I'm going to shut down and just completely get rid of that. We've got plenty of spots for labor to go. People are upset. I don't blame them. I understand your pain. But we had to sort out Honduras. Factories push for free trade. Let's see. Everybody thinks free trade is the bee's knees, so support the campaign wholeheartedly. We don't really care about that. We're not a great power yet. I don't know how long it's going to take us to become a great power. But, yeah, it looks like nobody's really that interested in helping Greece take a chunk out of the Ottoman Empire. I'm sure that'll change as time goes on. Yeah, well, let's just keep pushing liberal. The way I see it, and this could be completely incorrect on my part, we're always jingoist, though. Always. We fight for freedom and conquering. Much like a modern-day nation. And that's as political as I'm going to get. We'll support the Conservatives. They won the last election. We'll say they've got the government support. Bloody Jacobins. Right. Well, thankfully, none of them are big enough to pose any real threat. And a lot of these 3 stacks will probably just disappear. And because we're allies, the French are sending 40,000 troops to help out. So I appreciate that, France. Thank you. My 4 walls and nobody else's. Minorities in Piedmont are starting to gather and protest over the right to own property. So we got mainly limited citizenship, but I wouldn't mind. We all know they are savages who would rather live in caves. It's not exactly the thing that I'm looking for. I think what we'll do is we'll go with these people are humans and they deserve rights. And I'll help out the majority voters. I guess France is taking care of them. We don't need to bother ourselves with that junk. We just come over there. Oops, no, we need that. Oh, getting the hiccups. Never a good thing. Interesting. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Denmark's growing. A couple of victories over rebels. It's kind of sad that that made the news. But, hey, you know, I guess it's a slow news day. What else are they going to talk about? Nothing. I want to see Denmark. Denmark doesn't look like it's getting bigger. Denmark looks like it's got some problems with Schleswig-Holstein there. I'll let the debate take its own course. We'll let the people figure out their own economy. They keep voting out, you know, the reactionaries, so we can get rid of you. And I'm thinking, we got craftsmen in Hispaniola. Do we actually need that? We do. And we need craftsmen in Honduras as well. So let's start doing that. Come on, guys, industrialize. We should take a look at the budget too, because obviously having military spending this high, it's you know, not all that necessary. So we'll tone that down a bit, and then we'll cut poor taxes a little bit too, just to help out. They've beaten me again and again. Why? Because I am a proud citizen who will speak the truth. I don't believe that the ruling party will save us, and my weapon is logic, but theirs is the stick. The issue of political party harassment has been repeatedly raised in the current election. I like this little event. It's the first time I've seen it. But when you go along in your politics, right, you go to reforms and you're like, yeah, we'll give you harassment. You think that it's just going to be like harassment in Parliament, right? No, it's this kind of harassment. There's probably a need to change the system. Sure, we've got a lot of reactionaries, and that decision made them mad, but they're just going to have to learn to live with it, because the world's changing, and we want to be at the forefront of that change, not sucking the hind teat. Oh, I forgot. Forgot to do all the budget things I was talking about. We're pulling in quite a fair chunk of change. Fucking Jacobins, come on. Seriously? Well, maybe... Oh, no, we can't do 69. So then we might as well do 79. That's not at all what I was hoping for. Sorry, guys. Sorry. We'll sort the economy out soon. Trust me. There's a lot of war policy, and nobody's jingoistic. But, gosh darn it, I'm going to change that. I want a bomb for freedom, damn it. Thank you, France. Appreciate the help. Liberty, whatever. The top one. Economic policy. I'm going to keep pushing for state capitalism. Wretched conditions for our soldiers. Put the responsible fat cats on trial. Our soldiers need to be treated well, because without them, we're not going to grow. Jacobin rebels enforced their regime in Modinia, which now means that we should get these guys added to our sphere as well. Decrease... They like us, though. Well, but that's okay. That's fine. We'll just decrease their relations. And we'll have to do that quite a bit. So it looks like the Moderati won. Unsurprising. Moldy clothing, disregard. No, give them to the poor and replace them. That'll help people out. Right? Why would giving... well, I guess the clothing has been infected by pungent-smelling mold of some kind. Well, it doesn't look so bad. The fiber in the cloth reeks of cellar and stale water. We might be able to salvage the clothes, but there is some doubt as to whether anyone would want to use them. So we could just lose 10 grand or make poor people pissed off. We'll lose the 10 grand. Free clothes, guys. Come on. Yay! We're conservative again. You see, people, the system works most of the time. Although now we do have a lot of the liberation movements that are, you know, being jerks. So I probably shouldn't suppress them, but I'm going to because I can. If that comes back to bite me in the ass, we might wind up losing our North American colonies. Because we're really not in a position to defend them, and I'm focusing more on getting the economy sorted than I am in sorting out the rebels. Thankfully, no Jacobin rebels showed up in Honduras. Sadly, Honduras is where we desperately need the labor to make things. So why... Was I wrong? Is this... That is sugar. That is sugar. So why would a sugar refinery require fruit? Granted, I'm no chemist. I don't know how one reforms sugar. Refines sugar. I guess you could reform it too. Maybe. Probably not. Head back to Port-au-Prince. But why? Do you need, like, citrus to get sugar cane to be good? I don't know. I don't understand. All crazy economic jibber-jabbering, upper house dissatisfaction. Discontent has been brewing in broad stratas of the population for some time over the issue of our appointed upper house. Maybe there's a compromise to be found, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps with, you know, the willing assistance of the local population, we can sort that out. Maybe? Time will tell. Took care of the Jacobins rising up, but I do happen to notice the First Army is comprised of Jacobin rebels. So that's interesting. Jacobins killed Jacobins. I guess there's still some loyalty left in the armed forces, probably because they get a lot of money from us. I'm going to guess. The Great Irish Famine, Chile expands, victory, victory, invention, victory. Prices are collapsing on artillery, and American-Russian relations are going along quite well. So that's something to keep in mind. And we're getting close to the organized factories being done. In fact, at the end of the month, how about right now? We got organized factories. I do like that. What else do we want? Well, dropping war exhaustion would probably not be a bad idea. And I don't necessarily need another national focus at the moment. So maybe just boosting up our railroad size, maybe go for steamers. I still think at this stage we can get away with clippers. But perhaps, you know, increasing our mobilization size, supply consumptions, or, oh no, tactics. Let's get tactics up there. Tactics are important. That could be EU4 influencing me, but, you know, that's something to consider. It's a public secret that the First Farmers Bank of Santo Domingo is part of the Afro-Caribino resistance. Opposition to our rule and to North Italian settlement in the province is staunch within the institution, and the bank has even gone so far as to bidding out land to prevent it from being bought by non-Afro-Caribinos. There have been talk in local government circles of pushing for a nationalization of the bank. The fear of a fierce reaction has caused them to raise the issue with the national government. How should we react? I would think nationalizing the bank isn't a bad idea, but we don't necessarily need the money. And it's going to cost our farmers in Hispaniola, money, which we don't necessarily want, and a, butt ton of militancy. We could get just a little bit, or I think we'll go with the little bit of militancy, because that should die down quicker than consciousness. Broken, busted, and thrown to the sides lie the barricades, and the tricolors have stopped waving from the windowsills. The events that will be recorded by history as the Piedmontian Liberal Revolution of 1849 are all in the past, and it seems that we have managed to weather the storm. In no small part, I might add, to our good friends, the French, but I can't give them a gift. So they'll just have to know that we love them and appreciate all that they do for us. Now, while I'm sitting here doing nothing, we might as well decrease relations with Modinia. We'll get him down soon. Papal States. I guess you are in France's sphere, so it would make sense for us to be friends. And eventually, I should be hitting that great power mark. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but according to that score, I should be in this area. I don't know if I'll be above or below Bavaria, but we're certainly much better than a secondary power. I think, anyway. Let's see, Republicans, so that's just Jacobins. It's good news for further expansion into Italy, that's for sure, but it's not good news in, being kind of cheaty and getting the game to just give me Italy. Thrown from the gutter, I think is the term. At least that's the term for the event for the German states, basically for Prussia. They get kind of the same thing, which is, it's handy, but it's a bit, Prussia's a bit more of a difficult region. Italy, as long as you pick the right ones, or the right ones, the right one of two, is a relatively easy game, provided things go the right way. Again, one of the reasons that I like Victoria is that it's pretty unexpected, and it's not unexpected in ways like, it's freaking Serbia owns 3/4 of the map. That can't happen. But it's just, the events that happen. France will always basically be French. Britain will usually be Britain. Sometimes Ireland gets free. But, Britain could be communist. It's you never know. You never know what's going on. Speaking of, the nation of France, your faithful ally, is requesting that you come to their aid in the British colonial conquest of French West Indies against the United Kingdom, Ionian Islands, Awada, Bastar, Baroda, blah, 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 basically, anything pink. Well, we're not gonna sit back and not have an opportunity to do some things here. Now, Portugal, we're at war with them as well, as you can see. Does Portugal have any land that we might want? Perhaps, maybe. In Africa, where they're producing fish and coffee, or fish and tobacco and sugar and tobacco. Basically, we could use this opportunity for war with Great Britain to do one of two things. We could go after the Portuguese, who probably, militarily, they're on par with us. The United Kingdom militarily kicks our ass by a lot. France, oh France. And France too. Even if we combined our military score and France's military score, we're nowhere near Great Britain. I'm hoping a lot of that is tied up in the British Navy. So what we could do is take our glorious unit of 10 clippers and try and sneak past the Royal Navy, get into Ireland, and see if we can't, occupy a lot of British land. Or we could go after the Portuguese. And I'm thinking the Portuguese might not be a bad idea. We could get a nice little, landing base on the coast of Africa, which will make colonial things much easier. We could get Portuguese Equatorial Guinea here. which would, I mean, you know, it's just a little island, but little islands are helpful. You know, we got a little chunk of Portugal right here producing sugar. I think even Cape Verde here we could snag. There's a lot we could get from Portugal, is what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm repeating it. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the video here with the start of our war against Great Britain, and I'm wondering, what do you guys think we should do? Now, I know, Kikara, your suggestion is going to be go after Ireland. No question about it. I know that that's, you know, because, I mean, you've already suggested it. I'm just saying it's probably not going to happen. If everybody wants to go after Ireland, we'll give it a shot. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? We lose our fleet. So what? But I do ask you all to consider the possibilities of getting an early head start into Africa, which is, you know, I mean, that becomes sort of the mid-game goal of Victoria too. Get as much of Africa as you can if you're a great power. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys want Sardinia Piedmont to do next time. And on that note, thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.